The following podcast is a W2M Network original production. Visit W2Mnet.com for all of our other great podcasts, plus news, reviews, articles, and opinions from the worlds of wrestling, video games, football, and entertainment.
Hello and welcome to another Soccer to the Max. As there is plenty to discuss here with NWSL games having just gone down not too long ago, and more to come for the weekend in, well, I guess what's technically called Week 4. Some big news on VAR when it comes to the Men's World Cup. Women's World Cup finalists already happening in Asia, and more, along with our good friend Don getting some nice news for him anyway. But I can't talk about Don without the maestro of our meme on Don at this point, Mr. Erik Watkins.
You know what? I was perfectly okay. I had a nice little quip to start the show. Everything was going to be kosher. But no! I had bad enough news of what happened with United and West Brom. Now I get this bombshell. Damn it, Don! Just why? Why? Hashtag no more Don. I can't take this.
Well, we get to deal with Don for a little while longer. I'm sure Rachael McKriger is not enthused by that either, so...
At this point, I don't know who I'm more angry at. Is it Dawn? Is it Jill? Is it the little petty spat that Jurgen and Bruce got going on? Oh, U.S. Soccer, what are you doing to the likes of us?
Oh, geez.
Clint Dempsey getting longer suspensions. It's all just not happening well for Rachael at this point.
Ugh. I am so thankful we're on the verge of 420. It's a very saving grace at this point.
Amen.
Hey, we did just have Earth Day. So, you know, let's save things one at a time here. We might as well get into the story about Don, our good pal Don here, as sources are indicating to Kartik Krishnar and others in the soccer community that Don Garber is going to get an extension, and he could get expansion incentive compensation, and his minimum salary is going to be $5 million. He will be continuing to be one of the highest paid soccer executives in El Mundo, people, not just the United States, the world over. Mr. Don Garber. So
only in America could a Don Corleone Garber happen. I mean, seriously.
Oh, let's not tarnish the name of Don Corleone with Garber, please.
What would you rather me call him, Don King Garber? I'm willing to go either way on this one. I am flexible.
Yeah, well, you're right. Only in America, as Don King would say. So, just look, I think it's inevitable, right? I mean, we can't really... There's some bad things to say about Major League Soccer during Don Garber's tenure. Obviously, the Columbus Crew thing sticks out like a sore thumb right now, but for the most part, the rest of MLS has been flourishing under him. I mean, yeah. I think the CBA is what it is, right? The players got to stand up for themselves more, but everything else about the league has been doing well. I mean, we can say what we want about expansion, but it's been helping. Look at the teams that have been coming in and how they've been doing. Or, I mean, yeah, they have growing pains, but Minnesota's about to open their big stadium. They've got almost 15,000 season tickets sold. I mean, they're making moves. They just signed another South American this week. I mean, so... And they were awful last year.
But see, here's the thing. I could say the same thing about Gary Bettman and his tenure as commissioner of the National Hockey League.
No, I'm sorry. The thing he did for the Olympics was bullshit, so I will never...
This is my point. Do I want to punch him in the face? Absolutely. Do I also want to punch Don in the face? I'm leaning towards absolutely. So, let's kind of temper things a little bit when we talk about all the good for the league.
Yeah, I mean, those two leagues do have one thing in common. Their TV ratings aren't moving. It doesn't matter who's commissioner and whatever. So people are still not caring that much about either league.
And when I said, hey, Don isn't going to stop here, no, he's going to find ways to get to 28, and he's going to find ways to get to that magic number 32. So when he said, oh, no more expansion under my watch, he really expected us to drink that Kool-Aid? Who did he
Especially
think he
if he's getting
Don?
incentives now.
Oh, that snake oil.
Yeah, I mean, can't blame the guy, right? Make your money while you can.
As a matter of fact, I can exactly blame that guy.
Yeah, so just because I already mentioned it, Allianz Field has just 5,000 tickets left. I mean, it's reached the cap. So, like, the season tickets, it has reached its cap. There's going to be 14,500 people that are guaranteed to have your ticket punched. And the other 4,900 are going to go to people that want to buy little mini plans or just want to go to one game, a year or whatever. But, hey, that's pretty damn good for... I mean, they're doing okay this year. They were bad last year, and going into next year, you already know you've hit your goal. I mean,
and this is perfect timing because Minnesota United fans will have a perfect, decent little consolation knowing that the Wild are almost out of the playoffs yet again. They know
that we're still talking about the hockey somehow.
It's Minnesota. How can you not?
No, I'm saying that we made the allusion to Gary Bettman earlier, and we somehow still tied hockey in there too.
Well, considering is how the playoffs are going on as I speak, I mean, again, perfect timing. Life gives you lemons, you add vodka. Done.
Amen.
True. We've got a lot of some business talk on this show. This is not the last time we're going to talk about this here. We might as well just go through the roundup of business talk that we have concerning stadiums in MLS. One of them being Miami, where they looked at the Doral site. All we know is that they looked at it, including talking with the guy that owns the property, that they would, the land that they would need to put the stadium on. They still have plans of 2021 is when they're going to have their permanent home open. So
basically, the big news is you had a bunch of dudes in suits standing on a patch of grass pointing at things. Fantastic, Beckham United.
Well, that just sounds like Miami the whole time, right? Just bunch of people standing on a patches of grass going, hey, let's do something. Not
and point at things. Brilliant maneuver.
Well, Cincinnati also getting closer to becoming the 26th MLS team, as if it was really in doubt at this point. They're the only ones that anybody is talking about, the only ones that are making any kind of moves other than Sacramento having their vote of confidence from the ownership group is doing better. I mean, that's nothing really. They received approvals from the West End to build the $200 million soccer stadium in the West End. Cincinnati Public Schools agreed to the payment of property taxes. Cincinnati City Council approved 5-4 for a $35 million infrastructure package. The Redevelopment Authority also agreed to something as well. Good Lord. Lots of positive things for Cincinnati. Nothing's been voted on by the MLS Board of Governors, but it's pretty much at this point a done deal, and good, because you're going to need a team in the Midwest with Columbus going somewhere else.
Yeah, and the fact that Cincinnati, I think they already got a solid fan base that is accepting them. And it seems like the city, from everything you mentioned, is coming on board as a whole and contributing their own pieces to the pie. So, yes. Don't screw it up, Don.
Oh, when it comes to making sure the league expands, he does not screw that up.
One can only hope. One can only hope.
If there's one thing Don is good at, is putting more teams in cities, whether they succeed or not. Well, which for the most part for him, they have been succeeding, so he's been lucky in that end.
Lucky, but even what luck runs out at some point. Look at the original NASL.
And they still have Team 27 and 28 to figure out. So it could be Detroit, could be Sacramento, could be other cities. We'll see when that time comes. Rachel, you excited about FC Cincinnati?
As a Pittsburgh Riverhounds SC fan, I really shouldn't be, but I am, because I really want them to have a team closer to us. I want Columbus to stay, but if Columbus can't stay, then I guess we'll be okay with FC Cincinnati.
Well, NYCFC finally. I feel like this is one of the ones that it's just been absolutely quiet, and you haven't heard anything about it. Nobody seems to give a hoot sometimes about whether they play in Yankee Stadium anymore. And now there's talk about NYCFC plans to begin a stadium project in the Harlem River Yards.
What?
Yes, so it would be a 26,000 seat soccer stadium in Bronx's Mott Haven and Port Morris neighborhoods.
Oh, dear Christ. So now you're going to have... Wait. Hang on. So you're going from a perfectly good environment in a part of the Bronx where the Yankee Stadium's past and present have been, with a lot of history and a very good fan base. I applaud NYCFC. When they redo Yankee Stadium that soccer configuration, they really show out and give them home cooking. Now you're going to basically fill a stadium with nothing but damn hipsters? What the hell is this planet? What am I doing here?
Well, it's only 1 mile south of Yankee Stadium. It's close to Randall Island. Manhattan's not too far. I mean, it seems like it's going to be in a nice location. They're also going to be building, it's a $700 million project that's going to include a medical facility, a community facility, and 550 units of affordable housing.
Okay, so you're going to have a mix of normal people in with the hipsters. This helps.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm all for the teams having their stadiums. So the faster you can get out of playing in a baseball stadium with a short pitch, I'm all for this. Just let's have it look pretty,
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the current iteration of Yankee Stadium, isn't it right across from the most past iteration of Yankee Stadium?
Yeah, it's not, yeah.
Okay, so why did they just use the old Yankee Stadium and kind of renovate that?
Because wouldn't they just at some point have plans to tear that down?
Not really. They haven't had any plans, not from anything I've seen.
They say that now, but I mean, look how long the Silverdome stood.
Exactly, but then again, the Silverdome was the Silverdome. You would still have people go to that site and create a nice little mini sports complex.
You're having RFK dreams again, Eric.
Look, I stand by RFK. It's a nice place. Just need some paint, elbow grease, couple $100 million tops. It's not that hard. Just saying. You got perfectly good old stuff that's still standing. You don't need to spend all this extra money on new stuff when you're going to build new stuff even after the new stuff gets
Come on,
to be...
people like shiny new stuff. It's like the people that, look, you have your car for 15 years. Eventually you're going to want to buy the new thing. This is how it is, man.
And I've only had a couple cars in my life, and once I get my nice little built Checker Tesla hybrid, that's going to be my last car. I'll drive that for 20, 30 years, and then pass it on to my nephew or something.
You tell me when you get that, Eric. I want to see pictures.
Definitely. And not to mention, my mom. She had her car for 20 years, and I was willing to take over the mantle of the thing. But sadly, I was kind of outvoted on that. But anyways, yeah, this is just wrong.
I feel you, man. Mine's about to be 12 years old. Still going. So,
see?
So, yeah, to end things on a maybe good note for Eric, DC United now has their valuation going up to $500 million because Patrick Soon-Shiong, who bought the LA Times and San Diego Tribune, now owns a portion of DC United.
Okay. First of all, what is this also going to do with the news that the Swansea people are also looking to buy in? And who the hell's going to finally get rid of Ben? That's my main question.
I'm pretty sure once they figure out who all the owners are going to be, the first thing will probably be getting rid of Ben.
Perfect. Then I'm on board.
We had to get a Ben reference in there somewhere. It's well deserved, though. The team has been doing badly.
Which I warned you about. You said, oh no, they're making moves. They're going to improve. The whole time I said, no, this is Ben we're talking about. He's just getting my hopes up for no damn reason. I see what you're doing, Ben, and who so far is right. I rest my case.
Just go out in a pit of glory. Just do it, Ben. Curse everyone on the way out. Just make it happen.
And to think, had you made the push to stay in RFK just a teeny bit longer, I may have been on your side. I may have found ways to buy you time. No, Ben, you did this to your damn self.
Well, talking about doing it to their damn selves, Toronto FC did not help themselves at all in Champions League final first leg. They lost at home to Chivas, and a lot of blame goes in Alex Bono's direction. TFC goalkeeper, that is. Not a great situation going into Guadalajara.
Even at 1-1, they had the miracle and just a great attacking phase on that equalizer. Kudos to them. That would have been fine. But no. I don't know if it was the red and white and the red and something got in his head and something didn't compute. But, well, you can't just do that going south of the border. And it looks like the Mexican dominance shall continue.
Yeah, Chivas hasn't given up a goal in 3 CCL games. And TFC would have to score twice.
Knowing the fact that they lost 2-1 and the fact that 1 was something of a miracle in of itself. And they had chances to get more. Well, that was fun while it lasted.
Yeah.
Never say never.
It's true. But man, this one looks like a tall order. I mean, it would be great for you to go into a tough place to play and pull it out, but
Chivas is sitting in 13th in the Clausura in Liga Mexicana.
I mean, it's not like TFC is doing great in MLS right now.
But this is my point. anytime when I've seen Chivas in the last two league games, which I have, I know what they're doing. I see numbers like 89 and 302, and I think to myself, wow, they're putting all their eggs into the CCL basket. That's not a good sign. This continues.
Yeah, this is the third straight. Well, this is the third home loss for MLS teams. As Real Salt Lake and Montreal Impact both lost their first legs, and then it didn't go well, obviously, for them in the second leg either. So, well, listen, if there's a team that's going to be able to pull it off, it would be the terrific Toronto FC, but man, this has got to be wearing on them at this point to know that you got to play the perfect game as Chivas is looking to get their first Champions Cup, Champions League since '62. So,
and you don't think that that's wearing on their minds. And this is a team that built themselves to be up to this kind of pressure.
They've dealt with the pressure very well up to this point. Let's see if they can pull it off one more time, but I doubt it. We'll see next week. One last thing before we get into the women's game, because there's a few things besides NWSL to talk about. VAR, the thing that won't go away, probably for many Europeans wishing it would. It will not be in the Premier League next year because of all the problems that have happened in the FA Cup. We'll leave it to the English to not be able to figure out how to use VAR. But, the Americans can. It's crazy. They're supposed to be the makers of the game and all that. I'm not trying to really rub it in or anything, but I'm just saying, guys, come on, it's not that hard.
Well, again, this is England. Crazy things happen. Like teams that are competing for a title, losing at home to a team that had only won 3 games the whole damn season. God, I wanted to strangle somebody. No, I'm not.
It's Mourinho, and now when he knows he has nothing to play for at this point, doesn't care.
Yeah. And then what do you know? They follow that up with an away win. Woo! Hey!
Well, either way, so FIFA trying to make sure that they don't have crazy stuff happen at the World Cup like you had at the Copa Confederaciones, like we've seen in Germany, we've seen at the FA Cup, we've seen in Italy. MLS has had their trials and tribulations with it, but they've for the most part, it's not been that crazy. They've got it under control. Germany, of course, even Monday had an issue where the locker rooms were getting full with people, and they had to call out both Freiburg and Mons players because they decided to award a penalty to Mons and make them come back out so that Mons could take the penalty.
What? Huh. Well, it's like you said a second ago. England invented football, but the United States invented instant replay. If anybody's going to get that right, it's going to be us.
Well, leave it to Russia to possibly figure out how to get this thing done. So, I'm sure Rachel will be ecstatic if this goes off without a hitch, Russia will be...
We can do anything. We just can't. We're just not going to win the World Cup. That's the only issue.
Putin hasn't found the money to pay the right people yet. Give him time.
So FIFA staff members will provide information on VAR decisions, have access to the VAR deliberations in the video operation room, and be able to hear the audio that the referee is talking to the VAR officials and the assistant referees and all that as well. The one cool thing that we have not been able to see so far is that people in the stadium will be able to see when VAR is being used, and you'll get written reasons as to why VAR was used or not used in a situation. The same 4 reasons that they use in MLS still applies. The whole, reasons why VAR is instituted, and the whole clear and obvious thing that is why they do it. And the referee will still have the final word. It will not be like in, I think it's Germany, where VAR actually has the final word. So going with the MLS system right now, VAR is going to have access to 33 cameras. 8 of them are super slow-mo, and 6 of them are ultra slow-mo. And there's going to be 2 offside cameras that are only available to VAR. So there's also have been 13 VARs that have been training in Italy for this as well. So that's a lot of cameras, guys. How can you screw this up?
There are ways. Oh, there
It's
are
like
ways.
they have their own 2 offside cameras that nobody else can use. I mean, this is going to be fun, how they figure this out. I mean, but it's encouraging, though, right? That they're going to get the calls right.
Yeah, having them and using them are 2 different things. Let's hope they actually utilize them properly.
Over under 6 mistakes at the World Cup.
For the entire tournament,
Yeah.
I'll go over, not by a wide margin, but I'll take the over on that one.
What do you think, Rachel?
It's hard to tell. You never know. I'm excited to see what happens. I think it'll be a trial and error. We'll see what happens.
Wait till Putin gets in there. Starts
Lord.
paying off the
I
bars.
said,
Well, you know what? They did just have a bear deliver the ball in the 3rd division. So, you know what? Anything can happen. Maybe a bear will come and eat all of the other opponents in our group and we'll win the World Cup.
Look, if I see a soccer match turn into that damn scene of The Revenant, I'm going to change the channel and I ain't looking back, okay? There's too many things that I've already seen in my lifetime that's not going to be one of them. No thanks.
I want to see that now. Bears just attack everyone.
Isn't enough vodka or potatoes on the planet that would be... No. You have fun with that if that happens.
So, encouraging signs for the women here as far as international club play, because there's now going to be a Women's International Champions Cup in 2018. Manchester City and Chelsea will play along with PSG and the North Carolina Courage, so some NWSL representative there. And the final is going to be at the Hard Rock on July 29th. So
I wonder
we'll
if
have
this...
to make a trip there.
Maybe. I wonder if this will lead to the creation of a Women's Club World Cup. That would be interesting.
That would be awesome. Yeah, there's going to be also of course, the men are going to have their matches there. Bayern Munich and Manchester City on the 28th, and United against Real Madrid. Oh my God, Eric, we got to go to that.
Okay, yeah.
On the 31st. Got to make that trip.
I can go ahead
Just make it a
and
weekend. We'll go to both. No, I'm kidding. We'll have to get the nosebleeds.
Look, we can get the nosebleeds. That'll make it more fun to get drunk.
How much are the nosebleeds? Like $200?
Look, we can go ahead. We can start a fund now. Get some of our diehards, and I've been recruiting more fans to the podcast. Say, hey, you want more excellent content for this show? You want to make our dreams come true? Chip us a couple of bucks. We got everything covered. We'll go there. We'll have a great time and blah, blah, blah.
And Rachel just needs to bring her summer vacation.
Hashtag third wheeling.
Why? You can
want you to be a third wheel.
It costs money to travel down. I can't make it. I'm third wheeling right now while you two boys are planning your date.
Look, there is nothing wrong with a mandate between two friends. As is, my dreams at the end of May for going down to Miami have already been effectively crushed, so this is a good salvaging sort of situation.
To be fair, Eric and I have never seen each other in person, so...
And there's that too.
Would be like a... Yeah. That would just be cool, just to have that moment, at least. But, yeah, I mean, like, this is cool for the women, right, Rachel? I mean, more equality.
And we love more equality. Now pay us.
Yes. Equal pay, equal pay. Let's have it. Well, wait, that CBA is how long?
Oh, I have no idea.
It's at least till, the next Olympics, I think. So, they'll make it happen. Come on, Carlos Cordero. You want to be known for something? Get that equal pay going.
There are such things as out clauses and things like that as well. It can happen.
So just a little snippet here, because you did have the Asia World Cup qualifiers basically be determined over the last break. And China, Thailand, Australia, Japan, and South Korea will be all heading to the World Cup, representing Asia, along with France, the host. So,
Okay.
Australia's gonna win it.
Yeah, man, they've been killing it. Sam Kerr.
Although I want Brazil to win so badly.
Yeah, who knows? Australia, U.S., Brazil, those are really going to be three teams that you'd expect in the final. The only other thing I'd have to say about that is there's a really interesting Thailand joke that I can make, but that's for another show.
Oh, God.
Wait, now you gave the terrible tease. You know when you give a terrible tease, you got to go ahead and do the joke. What?
Well, look, everybody knows that going to Thailand, it's known for two things. Food and something involving women in a fish tank. Now they get to be known for soccer as well. Oh, and I guess you could also throw in drug mules? I forgot about the drug mules.
Oh, God.
Maybe I should have said, Eric, not say that joke.
See? This is what happens, folks. I try to warn the masses. This is not my fault. Any hate tweets, send them to @W2MSean. I tried.
Why can't they send it to you?
Because I tried to stop myself. You didn't.
Whatever. It's always blame me. Fine.
Rachel backed me up on this one. I tried. I said, hey, I better not. There's record of it. Unless he edits the footage.
No, it's too late for that.
I think I'm going to stay out of this. You guys can hash it out at your date.
We're going to be arguing about this for 4 months as to whether or not somebody did a joke on the podcast. When we get Thailand people sending me angry emails.
Well, hey, at least we wouldn't be able to read them. I don't speak Thai.
I don't either. But maybe
Alrighty,
they'll
then.
be great and just write it in English. That would be ideal, right? If they're listening, I'd imagine. But alright, let's talk some NWSL, Rachel. We've had a week 3 happen, and we've had part of week 4 happen since the last time we did a show. North Carolina is kicking butt.
North Carolina is building off their season from last year. They want to go back to that final, and they want to win the Supporters Shield to win 2 years in a row. And there are so many good stacked teams, and what they have right now is there's a lot of teams like Portland, Orlando, Chicago. Yeah, Chicago. They're missing a lot of big names, but North Carolina really isn't. Dabinha's the only big name that they're missing. They have Jess McDonald, who scored tonight. They have Crystal Dunn and Lynn Williams, McCall Zerboni, Abby Urseg, and all these other different really great players. They have a great player in every position. And there's one player in particular for them that I really want to shout out, and that's Kristen Hamilton. She has been so good for them this year. She's been filling in for Sam Mewis, who's been injured since November. She hurt her knee with the U.S. national team. She has been doing such a good job for them. And Sam Mewis actually made her debut tonight in the 72nd minute, coming on for Kristen Hamilton. And I really hope that Paul Riley sees what he has. He has gotten a lot of really good work out of Kristen Hamilton. And while, of course, you're going to start Sam Mewis, he needs to give her some minutes as well, too. Too much depth is not a bad thing.
Certainly not. They're definitely benefiting from that. Rachael McKriger, her 2 goals, make her the reigning player of the week going into this week. So, go her. And, maybe another national team call-up in her future, perhaps. I know you got excited over the last one, Rachel, so.
I know. I need her to come back. She is... Come on, Jill? Come on, Jill. See, I'm sounding more and more like Erik every time.
I rub off on you. I grow on you like a fungus. I have for years.
Well, your girl, Erik Abogagu, I'm terrible at this name, scored.
You had it right the first time, and she did.
But Lindsay Horan and Christine Sinclair were too much with their 2 goals, and Portland won over Orlando.
I mean, I'm really not sad because I didn't have terribly high hopes, especially after the Washington match. So to at least give a good fight and wind up going down 2-1 at this early stage of the season, it's something that I can live with.
Orlando only has 1 point so far.
Yeah, aside from that, that's why I said with this particular match, it isn't a bitter pill. I'm not talking about the other ones, which... Why is it that there's at least one team every year that has to go that extra mile to try to disappoint me? I didn't expect it from the Pride.
They need Marta back.
Yeah. They definitely do. Well, Rachel mentioned Chicago. They're doing it without a lot of their star players. They just whooped Houston tonight 3-0. And they're sitting there just barely in second place above Portland and Seattle. Of course, North Carolina beat Seattle to have a 12 points and leading the league right now. Of course, they have a game in hand on all the teams and 2 on Sky Blue because Sky Blue didn't play in their first week. So, yeah, some room to make up for teams, but right now North Carolina's sitting pretty. Chicago, I mean, it's amazing. If Chicago's doing this without the people they're missing, imagine what they're going to be doing with the people they are when they come back.
Exactly. I mean, look at this win against Houston, crushing them, following what they did against Utah. Team to be reckoned with.
Yeah, and then you got Washington sitting there. I mean, you got Portland and Seattle, 3rd and 4th, tied at 6. Got Washington with 3 and 5th. Utah, Houston, 6th and 7th, and Orlando with that lowly point.
Well, and look out for Utah because they just got Amy Rodriguez back. Mm-hmm. So that's a big pickup for them.
And the weekend schedule looks like this. You got Portland and Washington in a nice lone game on Friday, 10:30. If you want to stay up really late to watch that one, it's in Portland, obviously. Where the reason why it's that late, put on your Go 90, watch it, and go to sleep. There you go. Lifetime's got North Carolina, Utah. That should be a barn burner. Can Carolina make it 3 in a row? We'll see.
Oh, yeah.
Red Stars get to go against the last place Sky Blue after that. And then Orlando and Houston gets the Sunday spot. So, does Orlando score goals like Chicago did? That's the question, Eric.
I can hope. I can dream. I'm going to mark that as a maybe. I think they may be able to nick 1. 2 if I'm lucky.
Anything else from NWSL, Rachel, before we get out of here?
Shout out to that huge crowd in Utah for showing up, showing love to the women's game. It is awesome. Utah Royals FC, I need you to have a better season because I picked you to win the whole thing. So, Becky Sauerbrunn, rally your troops. I'm so excited for this NWSL season. It has been so good so far. And it's really thrown some curveballs, and I can't wait till all the national teamers get back. Oh, it's going to be a heck of a ride.
Yeah, it should be fun to watch on it. They won't have a break for a long while because there's not any international stuff till June. So, yeah, plenty of time to soak in this season for a while, and hopefully everybody's tuning in and watching it. It's been fun, like Rachel said. And you get another weekend of action, and hopefully we'll be back to our regular Sunday or Monday to get to actually talk about the games themselves. And one little nugget before we leave, even though it really won't matter because the World Cup will be over and we'll just be in total, like, who gives a crap mode, but they announced the U.S. taking on England in November, friendly for the men, so that's cool, I guess. I don't know why we're announcing games after the World Cup, but...
Well, it's not like we're going to be there.
I know, but it's just like, I mean, at that, it's like you could barely get people to care about the games now. Like, wait till the World Cup's over and people really don't care. So, it's still nice. Like, anytime the U.S. plays England, I guess people are always sort of interested. But all right, unless anybody has anything else they want to bring up, that should do it for this week.
Yeah, a little bit of a fair warning, one Mr. Gleason. You will learn the hard way. Mail don't run on Sundays in Orlando. Thank you, Jason, for finally listening and wising up. This is what happens.
Yeah, you can watch, and remember, you can watch your MLS live for $5 if you go get ESPN Plus. Not that they need a advertisement or anything, but if you've been wanting to check out MLS, and that's been fun too, with the Zlatan story, he's going to be the face of Visa at the World Cup, so he found a way to get himself over there regardless.
Hashtag don't mess with Zlatan.
Best interview ever.
Yeah, that was great. That man
The
is
Swedish
amazing.
fish.
That man is amazing, honestly. So, yeah, plenty to look forward to. And hopefully you enjoy your soccer this weekend, whatever you're watching, whether it's Europe, whether it's MLS, NWSL, whatever. And we'll see you Sunday or Monday. See you later, everybody.
Peace.
See ya.
The following podcast is a W2M Network original production. Visit W2Mnet.com for all of our other great podcasts, plus news, reviews, articles, and opinions from the worlds of wrestling, video games, football, and entertainment.